Have you ever noticed how painted images are all around us? That's where I come in. I'm a curator at an art gallery. I choose paintings for people to look at, and I'm on a mission to show you why looking is worth it, to show you why painting matters. It can challenge you, play with you, and even lift your soul. Come with me on this journey through art and you'll see the world through new eyes. These days we're surrounded by images of naked bodies. So has the body in painting been nudged out of the frame? It used to be that painters had the body all to themselves. There was no photography. Painting was the big way of portraying the human form. And part of what made those old paintings so seductive was the fact they were made of paint. Bright, glossy, irresistible. But these days, naked bodies are all over the show. So where does that leave painters of the body? Where's the nude in art today? You've heard about people stealing the cars they desire, but let's talk about people stealing the paintings they desire. The perfect place to do so is here in the historical painting store at Christchurch Art Gallery. And when we head in there, we're also heading for the scene of a crime. A grand golden frame and nothing inside it. You're looking at the space where a beautiful body used to be. Who did the beautiful body belong to? It belonged to this character, Psyche, the mythic woman who was so beautiful, even Cupid, the god of love, couldn't take his eyes off her. She came to New Zealand in 1906 to take part in the Great International Exhibition here. She was purchased from that show for £440, the highest price paid at the time. And for years she lounged happily on the walls of the city's art gallery. Until the small hours of a morning in 1942, when a person, or persons unknown as the police report said, broke in through the skylight of the gallery, descended into the space, peeled the skin of the painting off its stretcher, and kidnapped Psyche forever. Now, we've all seen a painting and said, I like it. And we've all seen a painting and said, I want it. But to break into an art gallery and take a painting, that is desire. So where is she today, Psyche? And not just this Psyche, but where is the body beautiful in general? What's become of the nude in art? How is the body looking in painting today? How are artists doing their best to bring us up close and personal? Artists have been putting bodies in the picture ever since they've been painting. Suffering bodies to remind us of the heavenly world beyond. Perfect bodies to symbolise the perfect order of the universe. And many acres of shapely female bodies painted not for public gallery walls, but for private, in-house enjoyment. And here's the star subject of so many nude paintings, Venus. Now, I can read the wall label and it tells me it's about Venus and Adonis. Burly Adonis is about to go and hunt for a wild boar. We see his arrows in the foreground. And Venus, beautiful Venus, is trying to persuade him out of the hunt. He's going to die in the hunt. That's what it's about in an official sense. That's what the wall label tells me. But when I look at this painting, and this happens so often with paintings of nudes, that story is not the one that grips. The story this painter was interested in telling is right there at the compositional bullseye of the painting. It's the story of someone's brush with a beautiful body. What gives the painting a pulse, what makes it more than an illustration, is that central erotic caress. The history of erotic art in New Zealand would be a slim volume indeed, but the painting on the wall behind me deserves a place. It's Evelyn Page's Summer Morn. It's from 1929. Back then, your standard New Zealand painting was a landscape empty of people, let alone nude people. Page opens the window on a different New Zealand, a place full of sun, fresh light and guilt-free skinny dippers. Yet this painting was locked away for almost 40 years because the woman who posed for it was shocked to find herself on view. A body in public still has the power to unsettle, especially when the body's not arty or symbolic, but recognisable and real. This takes us towards one of the big divisions in 20th century body painting. The division that opens up between the naked and the nude, between raw, real, down-to-earth visions of the body as it is, and the idealised, perfected visions of the body as it should be. And what blew that division right open was feminism. Faced with all those ideal nudes, feminist artists said, "Get real." Real-looking women start looking back staunchly from pictures made by women. The body we look at in Jackie Fahey's self-portrait isn't nude, but proudly naked. The joyous storm of domestic stuff around her tells us she's a mother, while the lipstick, a parody paintbrush, tells us she's a self-painting artist. And this body looks back at us with confidence, as if to say, "You looking at me? Go ahead." Another naked painter painting. It's Britain's Lucian Freud, grandson of Sigmund and maker of the most naked-looking nudes you'll find in contemporary art. The human animal, stripped of illusion. This painting is inspired by Afternoon in Naples by post-impressionist Paul Cézanne, but a lot's changed in 120 years. Freud makes the boudoir a bedsit. He turns French erotic fantasy into British sexual grunge. And come closer, he shapes his figure's sags and sinews with paint that is clotted and fleshy. Freud's is just one take on the nude, of course, but up close it feels terribly compelling. The naked truth. The body in art is a shape-shifting thing. Through the 20th century, it morphed from something idealised into something nakedly political. So where is the body? What shape is it in here in the 21st century? For a while, it looked as though modern artists had banished the body from view. But the naked form never went away. Instead, it went underground.
Thank you.
And popped back up in places you never expected. This new school of figure painters come at the body in stealthy, subversive ways. They sneak signs of it into paintings that at first don't look like bodies at all. The flesh is there, but you have to hunt a bit harder for it. Vincent van Gogh said that he wanted his paintings to smell of bacon, smoke and potato steam. And Pablo Picasso went one better and said that you ought to be able to smell the armpits of the people in paintings. What both of them are saying is that paintings ought to activate our senses the way that food and bodies do. Seen from across the room here, the painting beside me doesn't seem to have too much of that, too much appetite. It seems slightly spiced. But go a bit closer and you might find yourself interested, possibly slightly embarrassed, and maybe hooked. You're hooked because Seraphine Pick, who made this painting, doesn't give you the whole story straight away. She keeps some secrets. Whispers and teases. She conceals as much as she reveals. She reels you in slowly. What you get when you go close to this work is a series of hints, cues, clues. So we have to piece together a story. There are pieces of furniture, there's the lock to a door, there are lips, there are phrases, and above all, there are couplings. There are bodies engaged with other bodies, and there's even one body taking matters into its own hands. Crude. But more than that, the painting itself, the very surface of it, is fleshy, it's skin-like, it's sensuous. Seraphine has turned the painting itself into a second skin. The bodies portrayed may pull us in, but it's the body language of the work itself that keeps us there, that prolongs the encounter. That's what really gets under our skin. Here's another body painting that pulls us in through hints and suggestions. It's held together by a ribbon, painted straight on the wall by Julia Morrison. Pretty elegant, pretty, but look where it takes you. This is Gobsmackin' Flabbergast, a parade of pieces that evokes the life of a strange, futuristic body, twisting endlessly between the beautiful and the bizarre. The surfaces look soft, pampered, powder pink, but up close they reveal all kinds of rude suggestions. Rumps, corsets, a trumpeting breast, bondage gear. But no sooner do you call the work kinky than it seems to pull back and say, how could you think such a thing? Did Julia put those thoughts in the work, or did we just project them onto it? Either way, we're entangled in this body's loops and limbs. Invercargill-born Rowan Wellens also paints bodies in a new way. But there's nothing hushed about his approach. His paintings are gooey, big and gruesome. Are in your face and in your space.
If you put these in the forest and you came across them, you'd just... you'd be, what's going on?
Rowan burst into the headlines in 2003 when he won the Waikato Art Award for his work To the Moon and Back. A painting of, well, of a vagina.
I layered up a door with 80 layers of paint and sliced it open, and I opened it up and just pinned back the flaps. The first time I did vagina paintings, I didn't know that I was doing vagina paintings. I remember going up, showing my flatmate. I ran upstairs and showed my flatmate the painting. He said, "You sick bastard, you're painting pussies." I liked the idea. I wanted to push the idea because I thought it was really funny.
She would be this offensive, rampaging, headline-grabbing rat bag.
Yeah, pretty much. Actually, it's downstairs. I've got the actual painting here.
The painting?
Yeah.
Let's get it. Oh, my God.
Okay.
Let's get Exhibit A. No white gloves. Art conservators everywhere will be cringing to see this. What do you think of it?
It's basic, and yeah, it's pretty rough. I like it. Yeah, I do like it.
It's like no sooner have you stepped on one set of toes and you say, where's the next big set that I can stomp on?
The vagina was a way for people to get in, like a hook or something.
Well, that's really interesting, because some people might say he makes a painting and all he wants to do is to get to the offensive content, but for you it's more like the offensive content is the hook with which you get people involved in the act of painting.
Sometimes,
yeah.
Sometimes, but it's not. I don't think the work is really offensive anymore, though.
Painted bodies have kept on growing in Rowan's studio, including some that seem to have bodies growing inside them. Now, I'm not trying to make you seem like a nicer painter than you are. I'm not trying to, bring this back into the G-rated world, but you've made paintings that are very much about the act of being pregnant.
Well, they were the natural kind of progression from making the vagina paintings. Metaphorically, I was having sex with these paintings, planting my seed, so the next obvious point would be for these things to be giving birth.
Rowan's a bad boy and a good artist. He's bad because he paints things young male artists aren't meant to paint. He's good because of how he paints them. building up paint so thickly it comes right at us, he makes sure we're involved physically. He makes us want to touch.
This is my paintball. It's a solid paint and it started with just like a little tiny bit of paint. Can you lift it?
Just. I'm not going to throw it. So this is almost like the originating object for you, isn't it? It's like the seed. This is it's paint covered in paint, covered in paint, covered in paint. It's house paint, right? Big pots of resin.
Yep, big pots of resin. So leave 10-litre buckets to dry for a couple of months and peel off the skins off each bucket and slap them on top of each other.
These are fantastic. They look edible. The people always say they want to eat them.
Yep, they all want to touch them.
Rowan's like a butcher in the kitchen of painting, slicing into the surface of his medium and revealing its glorious guts, fleshy layers, veins of colour. Well, why the blade and not the brush?
Kind of started with trying to find out what was inside a painting, and then from there I found out what I could do with it. I started thinking about operating on paintings, seeing the inside of paintings as seeing revealing some kind of truth or something.
And Rowan's blades reveal something else unexpected. Intricacy, richness, even beauty. The thing that always strikes me is the unbelievable intricacy of the work. I mean, at moments you seem more like a jeweller than you do like a painter.
I want to make beautiful things.
Rowan doesn't just paint bodies, he makes the painting itself into a body. But that leaves a question to answer. Is he bringing that body back to life or performing an autopsy? Is it dead or alive?
It's alive once you open it up. You can see everything, all the life that's inside, I suppose.
So we haven't lost the body in painting. It's in pieces, it's inside out, it's alive and changing. But what I still want to know is this. What happened to Psyche? Do these new bodies spell the end of the old body beautiful? Picturing the body is one of art's oldest jobs. And for a long time, the body belonged to painters. The look, the meaning, the mood of the nude, all this was down to them. But look around today, and that's changed. The painters had the body, and then someone took it. Someone body snatched it. Who was it? It was the advertisers, and they were out to sell, to move the merch. These days, commercial bodies pout at us from every side. Collagen-injected, market-tested, thinned down or pumped up with the airbrush. Perfectly proportioned bodies selling a perfectly ridiculous promise. Buy this and look like me. No wonder most painters now give the ideal mood a swerve. So, this tradition of painting the body, is it dead and gone? Have the old body beautiful and the new strange body painted by Rowan Wellens parted ways? Well, here's the thing. Artists have a perverse streak, and as soon as you say something is dead and gone, they want to bring it back to life. And in this building, in a studio, an artist is engaged in exactly that kind of reanimation. She's bringing the body back to life. Liz Moore loves the religious painting of the past, its symbols, its eye-boggling detail, and the sacred power of its figures. But she doesn't want to leave that power in the past. She wants to channel it into our world, the world of pop stars and pin-ups. She uses the shock of the old to jumpstart the art of figure painting today. The figure she's bringing from the past to the present is Mary Magdalene, the woman said to be a prostitute who became a devoted disciple of Christ. She's often shown wreathed in the red hair she used to wash Christ's feet. But Liz is giving this figure from the past a celebrity makeover. The old role of Mary is being filled, and then some, by modern-day pin-up Nikki Watson. This big-time portrait's going public at a big-time event. Opening night at the Auckland Art Fair. Black ties, good booze, art and money out partying together, hoping to hit it off. It's a night to watch people as much as the art. But one painting's getting the attention.
Do you know what's lovely about it? Is that her face is, she looks a bit like a Madonna.
It's a kind of freestanding, monolithic, kind of religious, iconic sort of monument.
It's kind of disturbed about the pubic hair area seems rather large.
That is a hell of a
that
Birkin. It's a hell of a Birkin.
There's a religious fetish going on there, which I quite like. Yeah.
She's larger than me, I'm sorry to say.
Larger than life.
Larger than life, yeah, exactly.
Bigness is part of it, but so's another B word. Liz plays fearlessly with two big ideas about beauty. First, there's mass media beauty, the boobs and booty kind, the kind you find in cosmetic surgery or gossip magazines.
If I had tits like that, I'd have a happier face.
And then there's old school beauty, the gold-leafed, virtuous, religious type. We know both brands of beauty when we see them, but we seldom see them fused in the same frame. Liz fuses them. Her nude is New Testament meets New Weekly, a marriage of the sacred past and celebrity present.
Yeah, she's a modern girl. That's why I chose her. Yeah. She's not a Victorian nude, and she's not an art world girl, but she's a very modern, Western girl.
The result is a painted body that leaves you wondering how exactly to feel. Amused or awestruck, offended or on your knees. Painters are constantly making new bodies, from classical bodies to political bodies to bodies that demand a reaction. The body in painting is still a seductive and beautiful thing. Psyche is still here. When artists paint the body today, they're not after a traditional romance. They still want to seduce us, but not by painting old school nudes. Instead, they paint the body in pieces. They paint the body undercover, they paint the body inside out. And what makes us want to get close is paint. Shape, surface, texture, the body language of painting itself.